What is up, you guys? It's me again, as you can clearly see. Alrighty, you guys. Just a necklace with gold flakes in it. Anyways, so if God gave a vision to people about hell, you know, like Bill Weiss, 23 Minutes in Hell, and other people who had visions of hell that God gave to them, would, I know, majority of them would, but would every single one of them be saved? Still decide to get saved and repent so they didn't have to go to that place for eternity? The sad truth is, the good news is, the majority would. The bad and the sad, devastating news is there will be some, a very few amounts, that would still refuse to get saved, despite seeing the horrors of hell, knowing that they last for eternity, the fear that goes beyond anything you can even imagine, pain worse than anything you can imagine. Somebody who's seen hell and yet still refuses to get saved is an insane person. That person is insane. Worse than insane. Who in their right mind would want to go to hell? Who in their right mind would legit not care that they went to hell, despite knowing how horrible it really is? Sadly, that's the world we live in these days. People choose sin over God. People hate the light but love the dark. Why? Because their sins and their deeds are evil. But they love the darkness, and they love their evil, and they hate the light. And they hate what's holy but love what's evil. Unfortunately, this is the world that we live in now. And more people in this world are becoming more like this that I'm saying. This is, in fact, one of the main reasons why it's true that there are going to be more people in hell forever than heaven. Hell is going to have more people in it in the lake of fire than people are going to go to heaven. Even Jesus says this. Many are going to hell and few are going to heaven. Many are called, but few are chosen. Broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many go by it. But narrow is the way that leads to life, and few find it. Unfortunately, this is the world that we live in, where people want to choose the dark over the light, despite the consequences for their actions. And, let me tell you, the consequences for their actions are catastrophic. Astronomical consequences that last for eternity. Eternal consequences, if you will. And they don't care. They don't care. They know that they're going to hell, and they have this short lifetime to live. In their darkness and evil and sin. And then they're going to I know I'm going to hell, but that's after I die, And then, that's kind of a mocking way. That's kind of like mocking God, So they better consider themselves lucky if God lets them live that long. A long life, despite them going to hell still. Mocking God all their life. Because it is a very dangerous thing to do, to mock God. Let me tell you. I've heard stories and stuff from people that mocked God, or knew people that mocked God, and they wound up dead. They died. So, never mock God. You might not live to regret it. Oh, you might not live to regret it, but you will die and regret it. Because you'll die and wind up in hell and regret it. The sad world that we live in, you know. The devil has completely destroyed the world. Not in that sense, physical destruction, but deceiving all humans. And also getting billions of people to reject God and wind up in hell with him, with Satan. It's insane. It's very sad, actually. But, you know, the devil has blinded people too much that those people can't even see the truth. They can't even listen to the truth. They think you're speaking another language that they can't understand when you try to speak to the gospel to them. So they can't even understand what you're saying. To them, you're like, to them when you're trying to speak to them about Jesus, and they're too far gone. They're too far gone and too blinded by the devil. They think you're speaking gibberish. They can't understand what you're saying. They can't physically understand it. And the ones who can, just like they mock and scoff you and say, nah, I don't care. Satan is my God. That's true. That is true right there. That is complete true. Satan is their God. The people who follow and worship Satan, Satan becomes their God. And that's really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. Seriously, they're going to have a certain type of worse punishment than most people in hell if they see Satan, the devil, as their God. Let me tell you, people have it the opposite way. I gotta be very careful. And God knows I'm not saying this, but that I'm saying it that because of other people believe this. So God doesn't. It doesn't bother God when I say this because it's truth right here. People have it the opposite way. People worship the devil, and Satan becomes their God. And they believe that God is the devil. And they don't want anything to do with him. But they believe that the devil is their God. So, God's not angry at me or anything like that for saying that right now. Because I'm just speaking truth right here. I'm not blaspheming or mocking God or anything when I say that. And I never would do that intentionally. But it's a very sad world that we live in. But it's just true. So, hope you guys enjoy.